All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants with your Week 3 film review. First victory film review of the year, which means we're going to see some good plays. We're going to see some sacks. We're going to see Malik Neighbors' domination. DJ make some tough throws. We're going to get into it all. Excited. We're going to see that guy's hand on the screen. So really enjoy doing these. And I think you guys have liked them this year too. I feel like it tells a good story of the game. We paint the picture of what happened. We see how the Giants learn from stuff, run some plays over again. So if we want to do these, we got to keep liking. We got to keep subscribing. We got to subscribe to the channel, and we got to like the video. So if you don't do that, then bad things will happen to you. All right, they actually won. All right, let's get into it. Like that interception. And then when you like it, it'll get a penalty called. All right, so let's get into it. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, first play. Unfortunately, we do got to start off with a little bit of negative, because we fumbled the kickoff, and we're thinking, oh my God, are you serious? Is this really how we're going to start this game? Not only fumble the kickoff, we give up a touchdown to Amari Cooper. So this was the most used coverage in this game, which was cover one, right? If you said, pick what play Shane Baldwin is calling, and your life depends on it to get it right, this is the play. This is the play that he runs the most. It's cover one, man coverage. Runs cover three basically at the same rate, but in this game it was mostly cover one. We're going to have two high safeties, and then you're going to have once the safety on the side of the tight end roll down, get in man coverage. All right, so we're man coverage, and then one deep safety, man under here, and then the linebacker. So, hey, Brown's going for the kill shot. We got Amari Cooper one-on-one. We're going to hold the safety, right? Watson's going to hold the safety with his eyes. And touchdown. We're going to see this from this angle. First, good job by Kayvon Thibodeau, right? It's a good pass rush. Gets a quarterback hit on Watson. Don't love the little false step, but does a good job keeping space, and then use that right hand. Chop that arm off you. Chop that arm off you. He goes to get hands on you. Swipe off. Get around that corner. Don't hit him in the head. Don't get a penalty. Bam. Good stuff. And then with Banks, man, it's just you got to turn your head. Play the ball. We got to start playing the ball. When you were playing wide receiver ones, you can't just be in tight coverage. If you want to be a cornerback one in the NFL, you have to play the ball. You don't need to have the best hands in the world, but you have to play the ball. Right at this point, you know where he is. Feel where he is. Turn your head and look for that ball. Instead, Watson puts a good ball on him, but that should be a pass breakup. That should be a pass breakup at minimum. And instead, we're worrying about pushing him out of bounds. And we got this guy right here. He's celebrating, right? We don't see what's on his phone, but he's celebrating. So you can't have that. Here, I already did a mini breakdown on this play on social media. I think you're going to see Jason Pinnock follow Amari Cooper in motion, and they're going to get a sack. Really like this. Really like this. This is cool stuff here. So let's break it down. How did it happen? So this is 3rd down and 7. It looks like man across the board, right? Man, maybe man Pinnock on Amari Cooper, even though that's kind of a tough matchup. Man, and then the safety, right? That cover one. So they're going to motion Cooper pre-snap. Let's figure out if it's man or zone, right? If it's zone, the defense would most likely do is they would have Belton bump out here, linebacker bump where Belton is, and then Pinnock take Belton's spot, right? Or you have Newman rotate down and then Pinnock go and play deep, right? Because you have this 3 safety look. But they don't. Pinnock follows it across the formation, right? Because Pinnock knows I'm blitzing. I am blitzing, right? So you're just trying to disguise your coverage in this. All right, but they think, okay, we're in man coverage here. So post-snap, bam, man coverage, right? What'd I tell you? Newman's going to roll down and play man on the tight end. Adora's going to play man coverage on Cooper, right? So, this looks like it's here, but Newman's shutting it down, man. And then, we want to have that deep safety taken care of, right? The post safety. Belton's going to bail. Bam, right? So we're man coverage. Now, this is not good coverage. If Watson throws the ball here, it's probably a 1st down. But that's a good disguise, right? If Watson sees his blitz, okay, let me throw to the tight end, Nope, it's getting cut off, right? Maybe you could throw that you get cut off. You look to the backside and you got good man coverage over here. And at that point, you're sacked. And then the pass rush standpoint, so the Giants have these wide alignments, right? Dexter Lawrence out here, Chapman out here, and then you have your ends, right? So you're trying to create one-on-one. So that's what they're worried about. They're worried about the front four. So they're not thinking Pinnock is blitzing, right? They are not thinking that Pinnock's blitzing. But they run a half slide towards Dexter Lawrence because it's Dexter Lawrence. And the Giants stunt, right? So they run that half slide, they stunt, and so now with Pinnock blitzing, you're getting one of these two free. Right? In reality, the left guard should stay on this and have Wills pass it off, but it's not because they're not looking for Pinnock. For some reason, the left guard comes off of this because he doesn't see the Pinnock blitz. And then Watson steps up into Dexter Lawrence, right? Get in that hip. Sack for Dexter Lawrence. Jason Pinnock blitz made it happen. Good stuff from Shane Bowen. All right, next play. We are going to go with this interception that never happened. Let's clear it up. Let's figure out what happened on this. So this is a very good play call by the Browns. They're going to run what type of fire zone is this? I have it written down. A 3-deep fire zone. All right, so we got 3 deep players. We're blitzing a DB. And we're dropping D linemen, right? We got Dalvin Tomlinson in coverage. So, initially, Jones is reading the middle of the field, right? So, we're looking for man coverage here. So, what we're thinking right here is like, okay, the running back's going to be out here. JOK is going to take that. And we're going to look for Malik Neighbors. If it's not there in the first window, we're going to get it in the second window here, right? A little slant flat out here with the running back. But the Browns do a good job of this because they know they want to, you want to throw at the blitz, where the blitz is coming from. So the Browns do a good job of dropping these linebackers here. The windows are close, right? Unless you really want to, fight a ball through there, but you shouldn't get there. The windows are close. So DJ is late getting off of this. At this point, we got to get off of it. He gets off of it, right? Maybe not late, but he gets off of it. He doesn't see it initially what we're getting. So we get to the backside of this, and then they're running shock, which is a hitch on the outside, a slot fade, and then a juke stick route right here. And we just miss, right? We just miss, right? We could get real, like, oh, look, throw right here. That's not where he's supposed to throw. Right, he could throw there, but that's just not reality. But so you get the DB blitz from both sides. The Giants' protection is running a full slide to this part of the protection. I mean, this ball just has to be on Theo Johnson, and it's not. It's out. Right? And you say, oh, Theo Johnson should have fought more for it. Look at the ball where Theo's head snaps around. Let's play that in real speed. His head gets around. If anything, Theo should see the way they're rolling this coverage down and turn inside. If anything, that's what you should do. And this is first down too, right? This isn't a third down, money down, we got to get it. If anything, he should turn inside. This is just an inaccurate ball by DJ, and luckily they don't have to pay for it. All right, next play that we're going to go through. 2nd and 16 because of some holding penalty. We're going to run Tundra. Double in, right? 2 ins. You have the tight end on the seam. 2 in routes up here. And then you got, a go and out on the backside of this. And this is just a good job by Wandale versus man coverage. And you get this versus man coverage. Safety's up top here. Safety down here. Playing the seam. And this is good ball placement, good catch and run by Wandale. You see it better from the other angle, right? And Thomas gets beat on a spin here by Myles Garrett. Check out the O-line report. This morning. And that's just fired in there. Good placement. And then strong by Wandale. Fight through that. Get upfield. 20-yard play, right? We take a 5-yard in, turn it into a 20-yard play. Remember that play because we're going to come back to it later on. We're going to come back to that play later on. Here you're going to get the 27-yard screen. I mean, just dialing it up at the right time versus the blitz. Gets you down to the 1 yard or the 4 yard line. So you're going to see put Theo in motion. Let the rush come. Get out the Singletary. Great job by JMS out on this block. Runyon and Van Roten get a piece, and the rest is just Singletary playing ball. Now, notice this block by Theo. You're going to see this later. I don't know if the Giants are trying to set up something because, like, you would think split zone, you would have him come out here and block the edge because you do have the blitz, right? But you have him, and you're going to see this later with Bellinger too. We're picking up the linebacker that's blitzing, and it allows the free rush off the edge because we're going to come back to that. We are going to come back to that. But you get the screen out. Again, Theo, JMS, put him on his ass. I don't care if he's a DB. Put him on his fucking ass. These two do a good job. 2 blocking 1. Get up there. Stay in bounds. Stay in bounds. Anyways, you end up pounding it in for a touchdown. This next play, I specifically want you to remember this play. This play is mesh, right? We're going to have the man zone identifier as motion, and it's not going to work, right? Now, this is the first time the Giants have run mesh this year, which is a third down staple for them, and this is third down and short. This is a third down and 4. So let's break it down, but I'm showing this play to set up another play. Right, so we got Gray. We put him in motion. We're trying to see a man versus zone identifier because you have the linebacker out there with him. And it looks like man coverage, right? He follows him. If Gray were to go this way, this linebacker would take it on, but it's man, looks like man coverage. But it's not. They back out. They turn this into an inverted cover 2. And it's covered well, right? Mesh is where you have the sit route in the middle, and then it sounds like it. Like your fingers mesh. These two are running drive routes. It's meant to beat man coverage, right? It's meant to beat man coverage, create a natural pick route, and beat man coverage. But what it doesn't beat is zone, especially when you have 3 underneath defenders in the middle of the field, because guess what they can do? This defender can pass it off and pick up here. This defender can pick up here. And this defender can sit in the middle of the field. Right? Taking off your 3 options. The first read is the rail route, actually. That's not there because of the linebacker. And then this is the alert. Right? You're only throwing this if you just got a pre-snap look that you really like. That's not there. So it's just not there. So DJ moves up to try and escape. Play's just not there, right? So we are going to come back to that. So I want you to remember that play. All right, next play. This is a sack, right? We're in man coverage. How do we get this sack, right? This is a blitz, obviously, right? We see both our linebackers being sent. We send 6. But we have man coverage across the board. Man, deep safety, man coverage, sack. Good coverage on the back end, right? Good job here. Good job right here. Let's break down the sack, though. So, the Browns ran a lot of Bob protection, which is B-O-B, big on big, which is essentially like a man protection, which I don't understand why you do it against the Giants. I do understand. What they're trying to do is create double teams on Dexter Lawrence. So, basically, it's just man where you're going to go, your front 5 are going to take a front of their front 4 first, and then the Mike linebacker, right? So it's just man. So we have man right here, left tackle on end, left guard on defensive tackle, right tackle on defensive end, and then you have the double team right here to the Mike linebacker, which I am going to assume is Okereke, and then you have the back is accounting for Micah McFadden. So what that does is like, okay, we can try and get two hands on their best player, defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence. But what it doesn't do is protect you against stunts. It just kills you against stunts. And I don't know why the Browns would do this against a Shane Bone defense that likes to run stunts. Right? And maybe they weren't expecting a lot of blitzes because the Giants didn't blitz in the first two games. That is what happened. Right? So they're like, oh, if they're just rushing forward, we'll chip the ends, double Dexter Lawrence, and they're not going to blitz. But once the Giants blitz, this is why I hate this protection. Like, I don't think you should really ever use this protection unless, it's third down and they're just dropping back in coverage. So what the Giants run both linebackers on a blitz, right? So Teller is working from Dex to this linebacker. Right? So we're trying to double team here. Dex jumps into this A gap, right? So now the center's one-on-one with this. And then Teller picks up the linebacker. The back picks up McFadden, which, hey, they end up like getting on their guys. But it's just a bad protection because you can't block Dex one-on-one. Right? When in reality, you run some type of, jet or full slide. Right? I mean, if you run a full slide, right? We're here, right tackle's here, and then you have the end. But at the end of the day, this is just Dexter Lawrence winning. Right? He gets a one-on-one, swipe those hands off of you. Just domination. Right? Azeez Ojulari bending the edge around the corner. Right? Winning. Micah McFadden beating the running back. Right? So at the end of the day, as much as I don't like that protection, Bobby Okereke getting inside. At the end of the day, as much as I don't like that protection, they just don't block well at all. That's the reality. They just don't block well at all. All right, again, 3rd and 16. Cover one blitz. Stunt sack for Elijah Chapman. Right? Let's get this as 3rd and long. Right, with two high safeties. Man, one deep safety. Let's get to the sack. Let's get to the fun part of this. So, same protection for the Browns. Man. And then we want to chip the ends. Right? So they chip the ends, right? You see the tight end, chip the end. You see the running back, chip the end. So now they're 3 for 3, right? They have these 3 for 3. So when you do that, when you're in man coverage and not sliding, right? If this was a full, if you did yeah, this is tough. This is why you don't want to go out of empty, because you don't have the back in here. But if you keep the back in and run a full slide, right? If you run a full slide and have the end back, then you're taking care of them against this, but you're not. But you don't. Right? So it's man. So if Dexter Lawrence goes left and Elijah Chapman goes left, so is our center and right guard. And what they're not going to be protecting for is the looper, which is Bobby Okereke. Now they try and pass it off, right? Potino gets off here. Poaches tries to help with Chapman. Teller passes him off, kinda, for Okereke. But this is where Chapman's quickness is nice, right? This is what makes him valuable, is just that quickness, because he's able to cross that face. He's able to cross the face. Like, that's a good sack by Chapman. Is it like this great pass rush win? No. But it is him taking advantage of the defensive system. Here, the nickel blitz. Great call at this time. It's a good way to protect yourself against weak zone. All right, so you're going to blitz the corner. Azeez Ojulari is going to work inside. They run a draw against this. You can say, oh, this is lucky. You call it the right time. But this is a way to help yourself defend versus the run with light boxes, right? Because they are in a light box. They got wide alignment. So you see this front right here as a quarterback or offense play caller, like let's run weak zone, right? Let's block out here. let's double team here to the linebacker, and then these two take care of the backside. Right? You could even zone read at them. Right? Now they run a draw against this. And you see, okay, lined up, we block here. Good job, right? But because they run that nickel blitz, Aziz, he's working outside in, and now we got every gap accounted for, right? So even if Wills takes this, passes this, blocks this, which he should, now you have the nickel corner, Cordell Flott, screaming off the edge. And you get a tackle for a loss versus a light ball. Now, Aziz has to make the tackle. You can't fly past that. Some good instincts by Flott to get inside here, even though he almost bounces it out. But a good job by DJ. DJ Davidson does a good job from the backside. All right, it's just throwing a run blitz at them. Tackle for a loss. Good stuff. All right, next play on offense. 3rd and 2. We put Wandale in motion. We got man coverage. We're just going to run a basic slant flat. This linebacker is going to be in this window, so we don't throw the slant. We throw it to Wandale. He makes a guy miss. Bing, bang, boom. Right? Simple. Man coverage. So DJ's read. This window's not really there. If it is, it's a tight window. Right? It's a tight window. But we get this natural rub right here. You throw the Wandale on the flats. But hey, here's the thing. This is, 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 2. He's got to get 6 yards, make the first guy miss. This is where Wandale was really good this game. Right? It wasn't some, 20-yard routes or anything. It was just make the first guy miss. Make a routine catch, make a guy miss. Now you got a first down conversion on a touchdown drive. Next play, right? Talk about that tight end motion. They're going to run play action sail. 3 deep, a 3-level read, right? High, middle, low. So play action, right? The Browns are aggressive against the run. But what they're also really good at is being athletic on the second level and getting back, right? They have Grant Delpit playing the box, right? So they're aggressive, right? They're aggressive to stop this run, but they also read the play action really well. So JOK, the linebacker, see how quick they're able to turn their head and get back, right? To cut off the sail right here, cut off the deep, to Hyatt. But when you do that, you leave yourself vulnerable underneath, and it allows for a nice check down when you get the blitz, right? So this isn't some long play, but this is a nice job. Again, but let's look at this motion again. We're letting this guy come off the edge, right? If we're running play action split zone, ideally you'd be getting off the edge. But it's a really good job by DJ seeing it. Slide away from it, just that little bit right there, right? That makes the difference between a ball getting popped on the ground, maybe a fumble, maybe a ball that gets intercepted. This is a good job, right? You see that, slide away from it. You know you're not getting the sail. Check it down to Singletary. Really good job. Good job by Singletary getting the yards that he can out of this. Awesome stuff. All right, remember how I told you about that mesh concept that we have to come back to? Well, wait a second, because I need to talk to you about DraftKings. A chill is in the air, leaves falling to the ground, and football every freaking weekend. And some racing, too. Don't forget about racing. That's what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting into the action with our partners at DraftKings. Number one place to bet on touchdowns. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will win instantly. Get $200 in bonus bets when you use code WORLD. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code WORLD and bet just $5 in any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code WORLD only at DraftKings Sportsbook. And if you don't, I'm going to take this NASCAR and I'm going to cock it back and I'm going to set it down nicely because I spent money on this and I like it. Back to the film review. All right, so I told you to remember that mesh play, right? What went wrong? Well, I'm going to show you how you beat that, right? How you beat that when they have that type of zone coverage versus mesh. And I'm not actually going to show you. Brian Dable, Malik Neighbors, they're going to show you. So You have the back right here, Tyrone Tracy. We're going to motion him all the way across. No one's following him. So guess what? They're in zone coverage. They are in zone coverage. And guess what doesn't work versus mesh? Zone coverage. Because this player will be here to pick up this part of the mesh. This player will be here to pick up Neighbors on the mesh. This player is here to pick up Theo Johnson on the sit route. Right? Now, you could actually argue that DJ, because this is the first read, even though you really never throw this, that you should throw this to Tyrone Tracy because this is open, right? This is open. This probably gets you a first down, right? If you throw it back shoulder on it, but he doesn't because the Giants have answers for this, not for this. So when you're running mesh, because that's what this is, and they have that zone coverage on, what should the mesh receivers do? Sit and whip, right? Sit. Now, they don't run total whip routes, which is something the Giants ran a lot last year, but they just sit on this, right? And guess what? When you do that, their whole area of covering these mesh routes, these drive routes, they're not covering anything now. Now we have Malik Neighbors wide open. DJ slides in the pocket away from the pressure from Myles Garrett, puts the ball on him, and a 3rd and 5 turns into a 15-yard gain, right? Building off of your concepts, right? Having answers for their answers to what you have. Next play. Here's the play, right? We're going to motion Wandale. We got man coverage. Let's throw the ball up to Malik Neighbors, right? That's what this play call is, right? We got man coverage. Let's throw the ball to Malik Neighbors, and he's going to win, right? We have mirrored concepts. Basically, you're going to see it's a little stutter go by Neighbors, right? And then with Slayton down at the bottom, out and up, right? Which he wins, by the way. Come back to that. But stutter go, good job by Neighbors, decelerating and getting back up. But this corner plays this well. This corner plays this really well. But DJ's got pressure in his lap. Let's just throw it, right? Give our guys a chance. That's what we want to see. And that's what we get. And our guy does the most with his chance. All right, you're going to see the pressure. Sliding away from it. Eleanor gets beat. And this is not a great ball, right? But Neighbors has the ability to go up, have that leverage, and just rip the ball out of the corner's hands. I mean that's in the corner's hands in front of his face mask, and he's able to rip that ball out of him, right? That's a game-changing player. He's a game-changing player. It's as simple as that. Now we're going to let Neighbors just go out and flat out win on this next play, this touchdown. Put him in motion. Just going to flat out win. I mean, you're not asking anybody else on this team to run this route. We're going to release inside on this. Like, this play is basically just called Malik Neighbors get open. Right? He's got outside leverage. You get inside. He's in that trail technique. You throw a little shoulder head fake to the right. Bam, whip it out. DJ puts the ball. You leap. Turn. Like, turn away from the defender. Protect the football. Get your feet down. Touchdown. Right? And from the other view, and you should be embarrassed. So from the other view, Thomas gets beat by Myles Garrett. Right? I did a whole breakdown on these two's matchup on the O-line report this morning. I mean, we get lit up. But this is what having a Malik Neighbors does. Is like, okay, I know pressure's coming down the pipe at me, but I'm going to stand in here. I'm going to fire to him because I know that he's going to get open. I just know it. I mean, let's watch it in full speed. Wham! And then just a nasty grab. Go up, turn, both feet down, touchdown, New York Giants. All right, defense, get us the ball back. Brian Burns, what did we pay you for? We paid you to get us the ball back. We paid you to get the offense more opportunities, and that's exactly what Brian Burns does. First down, we're in man coverage, right? Man coverage across the board. Watson's loading up to make a throw. Sacked by Brian Burns. Let's see it from the other angle. Here versus DeJuan Jones, the right tackle. Right, we're going to challenge him. We don't want him getting back. We don't want him getting back into his pass set. So we challenge him. We get him the punch. We time up that punch. Chop those hands off. Get upfield. Keep your hands working to keep those long arms off of you. Bend. Go for the ball. Go for the ball. Elijah Chapman. Great job picking it up. Great job picking it up, and it leads for the Giants offense to get the ball and score a touchdown with seconds left in the half. We got slant flat. You know, the skinny post. So this is either a great read or what just throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors does for you. All right, so DJ's reading this. They pass this off, right? Banjo coverage. They pass this off. Because DJ is expecting, you know, to possibly get this corner to play the flat, and he doesn't, right? So DJ initially wants to throw this to Wandale. But it's covered. So we get our head up. We look for Malik Neighbors, right? But we have this safety right there in a 2-deep, you know, red zone coverage. This safety goes and takes Theo Johnson on the in route. We're going to throw it right over his head. Let's see it from the other angle. You get a better view of it. Right, we're looking at Wandale. We turn back our head. I don't think he sees this safety. I really don't. But we got our eyes locked on Neighbors. We fire into this window. We throw it high, right? So keep it out of this traffic. Neighbors goes up, gets it. Celebrate with the boys. Giants back on defense. Touchdown, 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 touchdown. Giants back on defense. All right, so two mugged up fire zones, right? So mugged up, which means even though Belton's a safety, but you have your, you know, he's your dime backer on this play. You have your linebackers lined up in the A gap. They're mugged up. All right, so we got the one deep safety. We got 4 across the line, and then we got everybody up on the line of scrimmage. 6 guys on the line of scrimmage for 6 blockers. We're going to drop back. We're actually going to float blitz from depth, right? Which you would maybe like to have float lined up a little closer so he can get to the quarterback. Because they actually do a pretty good job protecting against this. It's just Watson makes a dumb throw. So you have all these guys on the line of scrimmage. You're trying to get a free rusher. And you do, but it's just very late. So then you drop out Belton, right? He's going to replace the inside leverage that Belton has. Nubin, the safety, is going to go over the top on this part of it, right? So they don't have, like if Watson was just looking at this, right, and seeing the nickel blitz, right? What the answer to that is, throw right here. Just throw it up the seam right here. But Belton bailing out, and hey, you could still probably throw this, but Belton bailing out makes it a little more difficult, right? Where he's protecting that inside leverage. We've bracketed this. And then you go to the front side of it, even though you do have this like kind of manned up, you know, it's like a 4-deep zone. You know they're going to be looking for Brian Burns, right? You know they're going to be trying to protect against Burns, so you drop Burns back in the coverage. We've got the inside parts of these bracketed, one-on-one on the outside. Watson actually makes the correct read, but he just needs to put this ball more out here on 3rd down, and instead he throws it right into Brian Burns' hands. But like the Browns actually picked this up pretty well. Right? Like we're setting here, center's setting here, back for Okereke, here, right? Like they do a good job picking up the stunt here. The back picks this up, but you have the free rusher off the corner. Which is why, even though this is late, actually, you know what? We'll break it down the next play because they're going to run the fire zone again. They're going to run basically the same exact thing later on the game, right? Exact same look. This time we got the nickel corner down on the line. Not the nickel corner. That's the safety, I believe. That's Pinnock. All right, so same exact look, right? I don't need to explain it all over again. But this time they got the tight end lined up tight to the formation. So this time you are going to get the free rusher. So it's the same thing. The only difference is that Okereke is dropping back. Right? So Okereke is dropping back. He's looking for this to throw the seam. Burns drops back. We've got the inside, like the quick throw taken away. Or we've got the quick throw taken away. End up getting a sack. This is why I like full slides against this. Because you know that they're messing with you when you get in this look. All right, so we end up having a free rusher in Pinnock, right? Because they are setting to these three. The back is to the linebacker, and then you have 2 for 2 out here. You know, big on big. You get the free rusher in Pinnock, right? Especially when they throw that stunt at you. Whereas where I'd like to full slide this, right? Where you let's just go through this. Let's go through this. So you have Wills block out to here, right? You have Wills. He goes and takes Pinnock. The guard. I know you have to get out there and set. The guard sets for Kayvon, but they stunt on it. Then you have the center picking up the looper, the right guard picking up Belton right here, and then you have the right tackle blocking Dex, and then the linebacker is going for Burns, but Burns drops out. But instead, you get the free rusher. So I think the Giants did a great job scheming up against the Browns' protections and taking advantage of it. Obviously, you can see clearly that they did a great job. They got 8 sacks in this game. All right, next play. This is the miss to Malik Neighbors. I like this play call, actually. So Shock is, if you guys have watched these film reviews, Shock is basically the Giants' most used passing concept, right? We saw it earlier in the game. You got the hitch on the outside, slot fade, even though that's a tight end, and then you have the juke route right here by Wan'Dale Robinson. And then on the backside, you could tag whatever you want to it. But usually the Giants will put their number one or would put Neighbors or Slayton out here because that's the better option, right? If you get man coverage, you want to throw the slot fade. That's usually what you want to get. But the Giants put Theo right here. They put Wan'Dale, who basically always runs this, except for when they had Darren Waller, they'd let him run this a little bit, the juke route. And then you put your running back out here. The Giants put their 1 and 2 receiver out to the back side of this, right? Because when you're in empty, they're looking for this, right? So this safety is looking for the slot fade, right? He's looking for it right here. So instead, the Giants, they put the slot fade on. They obviously have this is the slot fade, even though he takes an inside release. But let's put the slot fade on the backside of this with Malik Neighbors, and he wins. Good release, right? Look at that step. Jet jab, bam, quick. We've won. Easy money. And we just miss it. I don't have it in the film breakdown, in the film review, but Brian Dable literally calls the exact same play on the next play. Nothing different about it. Not the same route, the exact same play. Like it was practice. Like, nope, run it again. Run the play again. All right, next play that we're going to talk about, we have, oh man, this is the what if play. And it's hard to get mad at anybody. This is just a good job by the Browns. So remember that 20-yard catch we had by Wan'Dale Robinson, right? And it's just going to be on the other side of this, where you have the tight end on the seam and then the two in routes, right? The 2 in routes. Get it versus man cover. They got it versus man coverage. They throw the Wan'Dale. So, you're out of empty. They have no deep safety on this, right? No deep safety. So the Giants try and create a shot play on this. They're thinking they're getting man coverage on this. Like they're getting a 0 blitz man coverage. So the Giants try and draw up a shot play. They set. Right? They're trying to show a stick or slant or, slant flat right here. Really a pick, and it's just supposed to be a fade up here. Right? They're expecting this corner to follow this corner to play the flat, and then get Wandale out and up and get a big play, right? That's where DJ's eyes are at. That's where DJ's looking for the play. But unfortunately, they're not. They're in a zone coverage. So it's just not there. Right? Now I think the way that Nate Ward is playing this, you could get off this quick. And again, knowing that they might be blitzing, you might be getting a free rusher. Instead, we take a sack. And this sack is on Daniel Jones. It's not on the offensive line. But look at this. I mean, we got Theo Johnson wide open up the seam, right? This is not the progression. This is the alert. But if you're looking at the front side of this, you might have just had 6 for Theo Johnson. Right? And the Giants protect this the way they're supposed to without spending too much time on it. Right? Right tackle is responsible for most, the innermost threat. Right? Inside man. So he takes the linebacker, which means the edge is coming free off the edge, right? The quarterback's responsible for him. And they don't do a great job of picking up this stunt anyways, but this is responsible for the QB. And I know it's slow motion Monday morning quarterbacking, but if you get off that just a little quicker, man, you may have a freaking big ass play up the seam. Right? But the Browns called a great call on this. I mean, they a great call, protected themselves in the middle of the field. Or they called an awful call and they got lucky. Because, man, Theo Johnson's probably thinking about that play. It's probably still running through his head oh my God, if he would have just looked at me. But that's not how football works. All right, next play on defense. We're going to see that nickel blitz again. This time against the pass. 2 deep safeties. We're going to roll into cover 1 man coverage. All right, man, deep safety. Man. Let me not go too fast through that. All right, and this helps avoid the chips because when the Giants rush 4, they're constantly getting chips from the tight end and the backs. Their edges are. So you get the nickel blitz on. You get Isaiah Simmons running free. We'll break it down from the other end. And this is the frustrating part about Simmons is he misses tackles. He's not able to finish that play. But because you have Simmons coming off the edge, Brian Burns is working outside in no matter what. And because they block a lot of man in their pass protection, this left tackle is going to block it, especially a guard working at it. So Burns just wins anyways because that's a guard playing tackle. But you get the free rusher off the edge because the tight end is not blocking out there. He's just trying to give help against Burns. So you get the free rusher off the edge, and Walston just makes his former Clemson teammate miss. But hey, ends up being a incomplete pass. So that's a positive. All right, here's the play that almost ruined all of our days. So watch Theo Johnson. This is where the ball's supposed to go. This is the ball that DJ gets hit, throws it up, and Malik Neighbors gets a pass breakup. So this play is called leak. And again, I really there's other stuff I didn't throw in here. The Giants, I thought, got really aggressive in the second half. They were going for the kill shot. And I think you're seeing the play calling, right? We're not seeing a lot of quick game. They really went for it. So this play is called leak. And basically, it's the play action. You got Hyatt, you got Neighbors. You're trying to get this whole defense, playing the run and then playing the play action with the receivers. And then you want the tight end to leak out here and hope he's not covered, right? And it actually does work. The Giants just don't execute it clear, perfectly. And Grant Delpit does a great job recovering. So you got the play action, right? So they're playing their run keys. Linebackers get back. We're playing this, and Theo Johnson, he's got it, right? Now Neighbors doesn't throw a pick. I feel like you got to force him to go underneath you if you're Malik Neighbors. You got to force him. Right? You don't want to get offensive pass interference on this, but you got to force him to go underneath you. Because if you force him to go underneath you, Theo Johnson is wide open, right? Like, this is where DJ's supposed to throw, right? DJ didn't make the wrong read or get over aggressive. Like, this is the right read. And I still think, even with him getting in this spot, I still think you do throw this. It's a risk, but I still do think you throw this. This is where you're not throwing to anything here. It's either throw this or throw it away. But when you have the pressure like this, you can't get hit as you throw. You just can't. You see the rush coming at you. You cannot get hit as you throw. I mean, and I don't think this ball gets completed anyways, but I'm not going to judge it by that, like, decision-wise. If you're going to get hit, you got to throw this ball away. If you're going to get hit as you throw, you have to get rid of this ball. But you cannot. I know it's split decisions. Where it's easy for me to slow it down so you can't throw it away. Or you can't throw this. But you cannot let your arm get hit like this. Because you almost lost the game that way. And you don't have to pay. And then here we go, Malik Neighbors, pass breakup. I mean, this is in Ward's hands, right? Break the ball out. Rip the ball out. Good job, number one. You made 2 touchdown catches. You made a crazy play. Good job on that 3rd down mesh. That's a huge play. That's a huge play. Now let's talk about Deonte Banks getting beat in man coverage versus Amari Cooper. And, second time he's gotten beat on this route. And I want to talk through this a little bit because it's like, oh my God, look at the inside leverage, right? He's got inside leverage, so there to protect the inside. This is why I don't like, especially when you are in the red zone and you have a wide receiver like Amari Cooper that you're covering, who's such a great route runner. I do not like cheating one way or the other unless you have help one way or the other. Right? So if you had like a safety over the top or something like that. Right? Let's say, hey, this is Amari Cooper. We're going to put a safety right here, and we're going to protect to the outside, right? We're going to bail to the outside. Then you can cheat inside. Or, hey, let's play outside leverage, and we're going to have our end or our linebacker come out and protect the inside. But I feel like cheating so far this way actually hurts you because this receiver is going to have a two-way go. He is going to have a two-way go. And if you are playing with this leverage, right, and he breaks out right here, you got to get on. There's no time for any hesitation. You got to get on your horse and go. You can't be patient, right? So when he clearly and obviously is going to throw this fake out there, like, you got to play it, right? Neighbors has to play it, and he loses that inside leverage, and you give up a touchdown. You also, I feel like you got to press up on this if you're going to put him on an island. Like, you can't just give him a free release. It's just too easy for an Amari Cooper type of player. It's way too easy. So, like, as much as I'm not stoked with Banks' play, these plays down here versus Justin Jefferson and Amari Cooper were putting him in no-win situations. Now, what he can do is keep his hips square on this, right? We don't need to be turned to the sideline. But again, the part of that is because he's ready to go and protect a speed out. And you give up a touchdown. All right, next play, last defensive play. 4th and 1, RPO. Call it whatever you want. It's a stop, right? So Deshaun Watson's reading Micah McFadden. McFadden bites on the run because it's 4th and 1. They're running slant flat, and Nubin screws up the slant. I don't know if that's a penalty or not, but it works. And you can't throw the slant. And everybody up front, you'll see, does a great job on this to stop this. Right? Right. Okereke, Phil. Dex. Play your gap. Stay square. McFadden. Get downhill. Like, don't give him the easy run. Right? If he hands it off, that is not a stop. Nacho playing his gap. Kayvon and Burns playing the edges. It's not there. There's nobody where to scramble because every gap is accounted for. And Dex makes the play. And the Giants get the ball back. And then the Giants finish it off with a fake jet sweep. Pitch to Devin Singletary. I mean, Devin Singletary kind of just does all this. But the Browns, where they're vulnerable in the run game, I know we didn't go through a lot of run plays. Where they're vulnerable in the run game is against outside runs and then the jet sweeps, right? That's a lot of their rushing yards have come against jet sweeps. They've been really good against the run and outside runs. But when you do outside runs, you take a chance of creating a lot more negative plays because their linebackers play so aggressively. They are there, right? So you use the jet sweep action that takes occupies this player, but they play aggressive, man, right? Especially in this situation, right? We're jumping gaps, we're getting downhill, and they just play into it, right? We're gonna run pin and pull. Chris Manhurst is gonna pin the end. Right, Chris Manhurst is gonna pin the end. We're not worried about this player. We're gonna pitch. Slayton's gonna block out here. Jermaine Elmanor is gonna block out here. JMS is working to this backside linebacker. And Van Roten for this DB. John Runyon trips. Van Roten does his job. Pop his ass. But hey, you got this D lineman coming from the backside. Number 12, diving. You can't tackle me, though. You cannot tackle me. And then we do the smart thing, even though I would have loved the points. I would have loved some stats. Singletary slides. People who bet the over. Why would you ever bet the over on Giants-Browns? Are angry, but we all know it's the right play. So hope you guys enjoyed the film review this week. First victory film review, so that's always a nice one. We'll be back. I don't know exactly what day the next one will come out because it's Thursday Night Football, but you will get a film review of that game. Appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, like and subscribe, and let's go Big Blue.